another blood-red sunset and yet another moon face, and still another 100 miles to my next resting place. Driving down the road, eyes on the horizon. Within my car, I'm all alone, but feeling good and feeling strong, knowing that this path I'm on brings me to myself. I'm driving.
Hello, and welcome to Spirit Sherpa, the show that helps and encourages you on your journey to unlock your magic mojo. I'm Jules, your co-host. Our topics have evolved over the years to correspond to different levels of growth. Episode 1 starts with topics for beginners. Episode 98 starts for intermediates. And episode 200 starts for advanced spiritual practitioners and teachers. With me, as always, to share her insights and wisdom is the spirit doctor, Kelle Sparta. Hi, Kelle. How are you today?
Hey, Jules. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited. We have a guest today. I'm excited.
We do. So our guest today is a friend of mine, actually. We've known each other for quite a long time. I think it's like 15 years or something. It's a long time. And her name is Elizabeth Carrington. And I asked her to send me something to read because I will go on forever if I have to talk about it because we've known each other for too long. So Elizabeth Carrington is a master certified coach and one of the early veterans of the coaching profession. She's served in leadership positions for numerous coaching organizations, including the International Coach Federation, where she served on the board of directors. Her passion is around helping spiritual seekers find their holy grail. For many, this means more freedom, joy, and aliveness. She has coached and advised CEOs, other healers, and anyone who is committed to finding more passion and fulfillment in their relationships and connecting to themselves and others with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. Her signature program, which we'll talk about at the end, is called Life Attunement, and it helps people get aligned physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, identifying any blocks to full thriving in all areas of their lives. And I can tell you from personal experience, she rocks. So now that we've gotten the intro out of the way, hello, Elizabeth. How are you doing?
Nice to see you again.
Great to see you. I'm excited because we're actually going to do an on-air, example of how you do your work. We're actually going to do something. Jules has graciously volunteered to be our guinea pig. And so we have identified before we came on the show what the topic was that Jules is going to talk about. And we have not done the work before the show, though. We literally just decided what the block was that we were going to talk about, and then we're going to go in and do that. And so, Elizabeth, I'm going to ask you to say a little bit about what it is that you're going to do with Jules and, any context that our people need to hear before we go into the work.
Great. So what I will say is that in my coaching work over the years, there's a lot of power and progress you can make in having powerful conversations with people, asking them questions, helping evoke their wisdom, drawing out of them their deepest knowing. And that's a very powerful way of accessing growth, development, learning, insight, self-awareness, etc. And I did that for a long time as a coach, and I loved and continue to love working with people in this way. At some point, 5 or 6 years ago, I got introduced to the idea of energy clearing, and the Capricorn and skeptic in me was like, what? And I started to, as I have to do, because I'm so curious and I want to know everything about learning, growth, and development and evolution, I had to try it, right? So I started using it in the training program with other practitioners and just experimenting with it. And then I got very fascinated by the idea of using it to help myself with these history of migraines that I had for almost 40 years. I had terrible, terrible migraines. And don't you know that over the course of about 9 months, it wasn't a quick fix. I had to do a lot of clearing. I had a lot of backlogged, energetic, emotional stuff from practicing early on, repressing my emotions. But anyway, I cleared these suckers, which was a lifetime issue for me. And it robbed me of talk about freedom and aliveness. That's what I'm committed to, right? But for my own life, I was down for the count many days a month, giving it away to pain. And so the skeptic in me started to think that maybe there was something to this energy clearing work. And I got really fascinated, and I learned every tool that I could possibly get my hands on. And so now when I do my work with clients, I immediately look at what are the energetic blocks, right, to what people are facing, whether it's chronic pain or whether it's whatever it is, communication or making more money. Like, there's blocks that we have energetically. And so starting to identify those has been my joy and passion ever since I became my own poster child for this actually works. So that's why I wanted to give an example of one of the processes that I use today, which resonates with most everybody. The idea is we identify some emotional trigger or reaction that we have, right, to something going on in our life. So I was very angry, for example, about these migraines. These were messing with my life. So there was a lot of anger I had to clear. And then I sensed where that anger was in my body. I had to feel into it, get a sense of where it was stuck, right? And then I had to make friends with it. Like, oh, you're a part of me and you're here for a reason and you have a positive intention for me. That's a big leap when I'm freaking pissed, right? So that was the process, is like, okay, let me listen to what it is that you have as a message for me that's going to help me to have a broader and bigger and higher perspective. So this whole process is about identifying the block, making friends with it, asking it if it's willing to communicate for the process, right? And then having it walk through intuitively. And I don't know how this happens, but every person that I do it with hears or sees or gets a message, right? What is it that you want from me? And then we keep going up higher and higher levels of energetic consciousness to a bigger vantage point to then look down at the original problem and have a new perspective. So that's the template of what we're going to do, Jewel. And I'm so grateful that you're willing to just play with me. It's a kind of a guided meditation. So I just ask you to trust me. I'm just going to guide you through. There's no wrong. You can't screw it up. There's really no way you can do it wrong. Yeah. So you're in good hands. And some people get it more quickly than others, and it's fine either way because it still works. That's the good news, is there's nothing that's not going to work for you. It's going to contribute to you in some way, to your perspective. Is that enough context, Kelly? Are we good to go?
Perfect. That's perfect. So Jules, why don't you say what it is that you are working on today?
Okay. So for today's lesson, kids, I am 51 years old. I've just started, I'll say, in the woo-woo world, right? And so have been struggling with the fact that I am now gaining this knowledge. I know in my bones that I'm a healer. I know that. And, I've done Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 and kind of going down some rabbit holes with that. I feel my hands are already starting to heat up. And I feel very drawn to that. I've been with Kelly, I don't even know how long, 3-4 years?
3 years,
Somewhere there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I feel like there was a whole part of my life. I mean, I'm half a century here. So, that I've wasted a lot of years. And then Kelly, to herself, she's told me, you weren't ready to, you were not ready for any of this way back when, all of the events have helped you to get to this point. But I still struggle with that. And then I'm like, man, if I would have started so much earlier, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And then do I have enough time left in this human life, to accomplish what I'm supposed to accomplish that my higher self is supposed to do, and, and it's kind of like, it takes so long, to learn this. And I am very hard on myself as far as I should be better at this, whatever this is. If it's Reiki or if it's, doing the whatever, working on my clairs or whatever, it's like, I should get this quicker. I should know this, because it's like, I feel like time is of the essence. that I don't have enough time left.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. That's perfect. That's a perfect setup. So I'm curious for the emotion that you're feeling. Is it frustrated? Is it impatient? Is it what would you say? We want to just choose one emotion that you're feeling in relation to this situation.
In relation to this, I would say anxious. Like I'm nervous. I'm not going to accomplish what I'm supposed to accomplish. I started late. I don't have enough time, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Yeah, I totally get it. Okay. So anxious. Now, how does this anxiety affect you negatively in your life? What would you say? What's the effect of this anxiousness?
It takes a while for me to wind down, getting ready for bed, like to make the gerbil hush, right? That it takes me a long time, especially if it's the full moon. I'm not sleeping. I'm going to be waking up every hour on the hour, that full moon tide. I do doubt myself a lot. So and Kelly can attest to that. She's like, how many times do I have to tell you?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Doubt. So how do you want to feel instead, Jewel?
I want to feel, I'll say, why is that word coming in my head? Really? Accomplished is what is ringing big time in my head right now.
Perfect. Let's trust what just floats in. That's what
it literally went all caps, accomplished.
We'll take it. All right. Beautiful. Thank you for trusting your whispers and wisdom.
I'm like, really?
Yeah. That's great. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, how strong would you say this anxiety is? Just give it a number.
At the current moment of doing this live on the air? Or
yeah. Okay. Right here now.
Right here and now, and as I'm doing this on the air, it's going to be about 8.
And are you able to close your eyes right now for a minute so we can kind of feel into your body?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So just close your eyes and just take a couple breaths and just imagine it's just you and me here in this little bubble together. We're talking about feeling this sense of anxiety, wishing you'd kind of started earlier. Are you going to be able to get what you want to get done, accomplished? Is it going to be okay? And as I say that, tell me where that energy most strongly arises in your body. Where do you feel it?
As in, like, where I'm feeling it vibrating? Because I feel vibrations going on right now. So that is at my throat and at my third eye.
Got it.
All and my lower back hurts.
Okay.
And my lower back hurts.
Got it. Okay. Where's the strongest place, Jewel? If you had to pick one place, where's the strongest?
The strongest that is saying don't ignore me is my throat chakra. Yeah, that's easy.
All right. Does it have a particular shape? Just feel into it. Does it have a particular shape in your throat, this energy? Whatever the first thing that comes to you.
Rectangle is the first thing that pops into my head, but I don't know why.
It's okay. Does it have a certain weight to it? Just keep feeling into it. Keep your eyes closed so it'll be easier to stay connected to your body.
If I had to put a weight to it, like I'm holding a dumbbell, right, in my hand, if I had to do that, I would say it's like a 4-pounder.
And what color is it?
It's got 2 colors. It's dark blue in the middle and it's light blue on the edges. Like it kind of fades darker.
Yep. Okay. How old is it? First thing that comes to mind.
How old is it?
Mm-hmm.
The number 3 popped into my head.
Okay. All right, good. So keep your eyes closed and stay connected to this part of you. And I want you to just say to it out loud or to yourself as you wish, I know you wish the best for me because you're part of me.
I know you wish the best for me because you are part of me.
Great. And ask it to manifest itself as strongly as possible so we can communicate for this process.
Would you please manifest yourself as strongly as possible so we can communicate with you during this process?
And check to see if it's willing. Is it willing to be in communication with us?
I think reluctantly, yes, I'll say.
Okay. So tell it can say as much or as little. There's no pressure at all. A little bit is wonderful.
Okay, a little bit's good. And now my throat feels a little tighter.
Okay. All right. Then we know we're connected directly to it.
We're
Good
connected.
job. All right.
Okay.
So ask it simply, what is it that you want for me? What is it you're hoping to achieve for me?
What is it that you want from? Okay, very loud and clear, straight up yelling at me, stop being afraid. I want to be heard. Stop limiting.
So if you stop being afraid, what would you be?
More of myself.
So it wants you to be more of yourself. What a beautiful wish. So thank it. Thank it for that
thank
beautiful
you.
wish. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's great. So now I want you to imagine that you and this part of you together create exactly that you in this moment are being more of yourself. Feel that. That's it. Breathe into that. I'm being more of myself. Yeah. Stay with that.
My throat relaxed.
Beautiful.
And right here at the top of the chest, the heaviness is lifting up some. It's not as heavy.
Nice. Good work. So just stay in that state of feeling like you're being more of yourself. And just celebrate that. Like, yes. And ground it in your body. This is what it feels like to be more of myself. And then check in again with this part of you and say, now that we've created this beautiful wish for me of being more of myself, just the way you wanted it for me, what else do you want from me that's more important and higher than this?
Speak your truth. Keep going. Don't listen to the naysayers.
I love it. Okay. Thank your aspect for that. Just another beautiful wish. And now imagine exactly
thank you very
that.
much.
Yeah, speak your truth. Keep going. Don't listen to the naysayers. Imagine yourself embodying that. Yeah, just keep expanding into feeling that. Speaking your truth. Keep going. Embody that.
Feels like the vibrating stuff. It's expanding a little bit, like into my chest area and all up here.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just keep breathing and opening to allow that new energy to come in.
And now I'm seeing white. It changed from blue to white.
Okay, beautiful work. All right, so just stay in that state. Keep breathing with it. Just feel it deeply. And check in again with your aspect and say, hey, we've created this beautiful wish for me now. Speaking my truth. Keep going. I'm there. What else is it that you want from me that's even higher, even more important than this?
Believe I can make a difference.
Oh, beautiful.
Make the difference. So sorry.
Make the difference.
Make the difference.
Beautiful.
They corrected me on that.
I love it. So now expand your being into that in this moment. Make the difference. Just feel what it feels like. Breathe into that. Expand into that.
It's bringing in my ancestors.
As support?
Yes.
Beautiful.
And I'm reminded of when a dream that my dad came through, it just popped into my head. And it was about healing.
So just feel the support coming in from your ancestors. If that dream feels like it nourishes this intention, welcome that in. Making a difference, you, in your life, fully, right now. Just let yourself have that. Yeah, good one.
I feel very light.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's check in one more time and just see these beautiful wishes. So this part of you has all these wonderful wishes for you. And the last one was making a difference. So thank it again for that and say, is there anything else now that's higher, more important, and more spiritual that you want from me?
Thank you so much for talking with me today. Always having my back. Is there anything else that is higher than that right now? All I heard was no. That's what I heard in my That's what I heard in my head.
Perfect. So I want you to just imagine energetically you were experiencing this feeling of making a difference. So if you go one energetic step beyond that, is it quietness? Is it peace? Is it what word would you use to describe that energetic
Tranquil.
state? Tranquil. Perfect. All right. So I just want you to enter that state of tranquility and feel it completely. Just relax into it and know this is the deepest essence of your being. Breathe, allow, and open to tranquil. And also imagine that energy flowing out of you, infinitely out in front of you, infinitely behind you, infinitely to your right, to your left, above you, and below you. Energetic tranquility emanating from you in all directions at the same time. And from this place of tranquility, I just want to check in with the goals on your goal chain and ask you, how does you experiencing and embodying this tranquility change or affect the goal of making a difference?
Makes it easier.
Beautiful. And how does embodying this energy of tranquility change or affect the goal of speaking your truth and keep going?
It's natural occurrence. It's there's no blocks, there's no challenges. It all flows.
And how does embodying this tranquility change or affect the goal of being more of yourself?
Makes it easier. Absolutely. And brings a calmness to it.
And how does embodying this energy of tranquility change or affect the original problem, which was this feeling of anxiousness around starting out too late?
Kind of seems silly. Because in the scheme of things, that doesn't serve a purpose, and the tranquility was negates. Thank you. I was searching for the word. It negates it.
Yeah, beautiful. Is there anything in you that opposes the integration of this part of you?
No, it's like it's already a part of me. That's what it feels like. It's very familiar. It's just I forgot that it was there.
Yes. And do you think or feel that in the future this part of you could impose itself on you against your will?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, that would be a negative thing. No.
That would be no. Mm-mm. All right. I want to take a moment and just imagine a big ball of light above your head and breathe in. With every inhalation, just fill your whole body with beautiful, pure, divine white light. In particular, fill in that place in your throat and any other places in your body that are in need of that cleansing and purifying energy. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and take your time.
That was nice.
Beautiful work. Yeah. What are you more conscious of right now, Jules? What do you?
Oh, I'm relaxed. Yeah, the anxiousness is gone.
Yeah. And what's your new story or narrative that you want to state?
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And this is who I am, and just owning it. So, and I don't need to be afraid.
Right. Gorgeous.
Nothing to be afraid of. That's silly.
Right. Welcome. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you want to say to be complete?
No, I'm good now. I felt like I was levitating. At the end, it felt like I was literally like floating on a river or like on a lake. I don't know what is just body of water. Like, so if I had like a little floaty and I was just like, oh, and that's what it felt like. Right.
I love it. I love it. The intention of the process is to take you into the energetic state of what's called pleroma. It's a very high state of energy so that you can literally look from a different perspective at what's happening, right? And have a whole different vantage point on the challenge that you're facing. So you did it beautifully. You just totally nailed it, embodied it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for doing that for me. That another first.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Now, Elizabeth, this is actually part of the life attunement work that you do, right?
Often. Yeah.
Okay. So I had a life attunement session with Elizabeth back a couple months ago. And it was super helpful for me because I was in I was redefining myself at the time. I was doing a lot of identity work, and we also did some work around my health issues and things like that. And so, and I wish I had gotten my I just got blood work done. I haven't picked it up yet, so I would have been able to talk about it. But the work that we did was super, we got through a whole lot because I just, and this was one of the things that you were like, I don't feel like you got to experience the stuff that I do because, I'm just I'm like this, right?
Yeah. You did an energy release on the call, if you remember. Remember, you were like, oh, I can release that. Boom. Bye.
Right. Yeah.
That's what she does.
And I got to the end of the call and I'm like, well, what are you there for? Because, you partner with Barbara on this stuff and Barbara does a lot of the pendulum work
intuiting.
and the intuiting. And you were like, well, you did all of my pieces.
Right.
So that's why when we came on the call today, I was like, why don't you do a work with Jules? And then that way we can see it in action because, it's super important stuff. And it's super transformational in a very short period of time. And so why don't you describe the session for people so that they have a sense of what it's like?
Okay. Yes, the mere mortals of Jewel and I take a little longer to process the things.
That's it.
It was so funny. Barbara and I were just laughing. We're like, what does she do? Oh, she just released that. Okay, well done. Anyway, so a life attunement session is really a customized process for whatever in your life is challenging you or you're struggling with. And that can be from issues around sleep to chronic pain to digestion issues, to not making as much money as you want, literally anything. So usually a person comes to the call with 2 or 3 things that are most important, right? And then what we do is we connect to your subconscious mind and we ask you, what is going on here? Your subconscious mind is like the best CPA on the planet, right? It records every single transaction you've ever had in your life and it knows what's up. Right? So if I say to Jewel, are you having some sleep issues? Jewel says, yes. And I don't say to her, well, have you tried melatonin? No, because I ask her, what is going on? Jewel, what do you need? And she says, well, what I need is to meditate before I go to sleep. I need to listen to a guided visualization and I need to take some more magnesium. Oh, well, that's not going to work for Kelly at all, but it's exactly what Jewel needs. So the whole session is about understanding exactly what it is that the person is stuck on, what's causing them the distress, and then identifying exactly what they need to do to help release it. Sometimes it's a physical thing and they need some vitamins or they're low in minerals because they're under a lot of stress. Who knows, right? Sometimes it's identifying that they have a gluten sensitivity and that's why their belly is bothering them all the time. And other times it's what's going on in their relationship that's keeping them from being connected to their partner in a more deep and meaningful way. And we all are human, therefore we all have blocks. And the process I use today is just one of the ones that I use when it comes up as a mental or emotional stuck place, right? So then at the end of the attunement session, you have a map of here are the 3 things you came with. Here are the things that will help you to release or shift or change that thing. Go do them. So the session itself is not a magic bullet. The session itself is incredibly clarifying and insightful. The follow-up is the magic bullet, right? Because you do what you have to do. You go get the magnesium, you go get the this, you go do the process, right? And you do a process like this with Jewel, because maybe she said, oh, I feel stuck around my anxiety. Okay, well, you have to go do one process of this thing, and then you get the results that you want. And the biggest thing is the courage to follow through on what you find out, right? It's great to find out the answers to what's going on. That's a revelation. But to do the work is the key so that you can have the freedom that you want. Yeah.
And I will second that it is incredibly clarifying. That was, we went through a whole bunch of stuff on mine. One of my answers had like 10 answers, right? Yeah. And there was like 10 different pieces to it. And so I was like, ooh, okay. So I got to tell you guys, it was out of all the things I was doing at the time that I was doing this work, it was the single most helpful thing I did. And so, if you guys are looking for some support in your journey and you're looking for, like, I got a crux point, I got to get through and I would highly recommend this. So Elizabeth, how do they find you?
That would be a good thing to have, wouldn't it?
That would be a thing, yeah.
I'm so excited to share. And then it's like, oh, details, right. So my website is elizabeth-carrington.com. And if you go to Life Attunement, you can see a bunch of people that have had a session and some of the results they've gotten and some videos there. And that way you can also sign up if you want to do one yourself.
So I'm just going to say that Elizabeth's awesome. I've known her for a long time. She does great work. So if you're thinking about doing something like this, you could do a lot worse. She's big bang for the buck, babes. So, and so we'll put your link in the show notes so that they can come to you. And thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Both of you.
Yeah, thank you for helping me. I so appreciate that.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
From someone who just went through it on air, guys, I was not thinking of the answers. They just popped into my head and came out my mouth. So none of this was preempted, not rehearsed, no dress rehearsal, nothing. We just bam went up on stage. So
she didn't even know she was doing it before we got on the call.
I had no clue. I'm like, we're doing what? Sure, no problem. You kind of don't tell your shaman no, just rule.
Right? That's right. Don't do that. Highly inadvisable.
So I'm like, okay, we're doing it.
So the wrap up for this show, I think, is going to be listen to yourself. That'll be the Kellyism for the day.
There you go.
That'll be it. So,
all right. Well, that's all that we have time for this week, folks. Tune in next time when Kelly adds another chapter into your guide to energy, magic, and the spirit world. I'm Jules, here with Elizabeth Carrington and Kelle Sparta, and you have been listening to Spirit Sherpa. So long, everyone.
Bye.
Resting place. Driving down the road, eyes on the horizon. Within my car, I'm all alone, but feeling good and feeling strong, knowing that this path I'm on brings me to myself. I'm driving